I added a new structure to Minecraft's most unhinged mod, and a ton of new enemies, tools, and gear to go with it. This is the fortress, a structure that spawns rarely in most areas of your world. There are a ton spawning right now, but that's because I have spawn rates way up for testing purposes. If I walk around the structure, you can see tons of winding pathways and rooms, and you can also hear some weird noises coming from inside. And now you may be curious, what's going on in there, but you actually can't break the bricks yet. These bricks are unbreakable until you get a certain item from within. So you have to make a certain item to open the door to enter the fortress. This is what the door looks like, by the way. Now this is a post-alien invasion area. So you have to start an alien invasion if you want to get the parts necessary to craft the thing to open the fortress. Here's the first thing we need. Some alien technology. We need 3 of these. And the alien technician over there is what's going to give us the second part. Now hopefully the technicians drop some unfamiliar metal. With 3 unfamiliar metal, 3 alien technology, and 3 neodymium, you can make the fortress key card. And this is what's required to enter the fortress. Right click, and now the door is open and we can see what's in the fortress. We got a few different ways to go, it seems. Now when you enter a fortress, you'll see some new enemies that live here. This is the brainless. They don't drop anything that interesting, just some meat. Yeah, explore around some more. You can see different rooms, winding pathways, layouts. Over here, some barbed wire, which damage you as you've walked through it. But there's a ton of different enemies that can spawn in this fortress. There's brainless, like we just saw, and here's Artifact 52. These guys fly slowly in your direction. They're really tanky and immune to knockback. Now, only certain enemies can spawn in certain parts of the fortress. You can see a lot of brainless are spawning on these blue bricks here. And areas where they can spawn are also marked by chiseled brainless bricks over here. Let's say I walk through this door, you can see there's green bricks on the floor now. And new enemies are starting to spawn. Like the fumigator, which are really tanky. Like really tanky. And the chemical skeleton, which someone's poison. And the hazmat. Also, the chemical skeletons leap at you. I need to get out of here before I die. And this is an exterminator. Exterminators are just like really difficult zombies. And this is the hazmat. Moves slowly towards you and has quite a bit of health, but when you kill it, it reveals that it's actually something much more than that, and it starts leaping at you. Yeah, these guys are really tanky because this is a post-alien area, and sometimes they just start mobbing you, and it's really easy to die. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the other enemies that spawn on the blue bricks. This is the Harlequin baby. These guys slowly fly towards you, but are not immune to knockback. And they drop thick skin, which we'll talk about later. That's an important crafting thing. There's also the meatball, which is a more difficult version of the ruckus that leaps at you. And it jumps a lot more than a spider. And lastly, there's Tesla Coil Ted. Steer clear of this guy because he strikes you with lightning. Luckily though, he does not have a lot of health. Here's another brainless and Harlequin baby that just spawned in. That's all the important enemies and loot from the blue fortress area. But there's a little bit more to talk about in the green area, although I'm very scared because there's a ton of hazmats and exterminators chasing me. This thing right here we'll talk about later. The exterminators and chemical skeletons can drop an enchanted filter, which currently doesn't do anything in this update. It's because I had plans for it, but I ran out of time, so I'm saving this for next update. It's going to be important then, probably. We'll see. And there's also one more enemy we haven't touched on in the green zone. The fart cloud. The fart cloud doesn't aggro you, but it poisons you if you touch it. And it moves around randomly. And it's also invulnerable. You can't kill this thing. You have to wait for it to despawn on its own. So yeah, just avoid those guys. You'll be fine. Now we've talked about the blue and green enemies. But behind this door is the orange enemies. Meet the Gralians. These are aliens whose skin has turned gray due to lack of sunlight. The regular ones don't drop anything, but these orange ones that are immune to knockback drop something very important. Unknown metal. This is like an alternate form of unfamiliar metal. There's also the Pyro Gralian, which is an alternate to the alien poop thrower. And the Pyro alien spawns fire under it. Now we've talked about all the new enemies that spawn in the fortress. There's tons of them. And nearly all of them drop something. But what is this thing? Let's talk about it. The Poop Infused Specialized Toolbench created to make late game more fun. Yes, it's a late game version of the Poop Infused Specialized Toolbench created to make early game more fun. So it's the same concept, but for late game. This is how you craft it, using blue bricks, which are dropped by Artifact 52, and thick skin, which, you get from the Harlequin baby. We'll talk about this more in a sec, but there's another way to get blue bricks I should mention. The Brick Mining Toolkit. It destroys the magic barrier that prevents fortress bricks from being destroyed. As you can see, I can't break the fortress bricks normally. But if I right-click with a brick mining kit, it makes a little sound, and then they're mineable. And not only can you use these to build, but you can also dye them to get the green and orange versions, and you can stone cut them to get all the chiseled versions. Worth noting that the blue bricks you place down can't spawn enemies. So the fortress is required if you want to get enemies to spawn and stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the late game tool table. Right click and it looks a little bit different to the early game tool table. That's because this one can make rings and this one makes staves. Now you know how the covalency gemstones can make rings? Oh my goodness, we're going on peaceful mode. But yeah, you know how the covalency gemstones can be used to make rings? Well, now they can also be used to make a staff. For example, the crusty agreeable itchy zealous saturated covalency gemstone, combined with money and a gold ingot, will let you craft the agreeable staff. Now, the agreeable staff causes hobos to donate to you. Hit a hobo with it, you can see it has some green particles, and every single tick, they have a chance to drop some money. There it is, they're dropping a ton already. You're gonna get quite a bit, because of course, this is like a late game thing. Also, it seems like I forgot to add this, but it's also gonna have kind of low durability, so you can't use it that much. But if you really want money, you can make a money printer or something. But that's not all. Because we all know with a wooden ring and 4 jawbreakers, you make the sped ring. But now you can use the sped ring in tandem with a clumsy, nimble, jealous, smelly, toxic covalency gemstone and a gold ingot to get the nimble staff. And this is something for transportation. Right click with a nimble staff and you dash in that direction. Yes, right click to dash. It's a reusable dash. And you go pretty far with this thing. Be careful about fall damage, but yeah, good transport. Should make exploring easy, dodging attacks easy. You in a pinch? No problem, just dash away. Kind of like your dad. There's also a creative version of the nimble staff, the overpowered nimble staff, which is the same thing but no cooldown. So yeah, very fun, but be careful because it's really easy to go hundreds of thousand blocks in a single second. So yeah, be careful about spamming this thing. But yeah, the last covalency gemstone, the attractive, lively, fierce, polite, mysterious covalency gemstone, can be combined with a self-help book and a gold ingot to get the Lazarus staff. Now, the Lazarus staff, when it's in your offhand, will provide an extra life, similar to a totem, but it's kind of different. Because when you die, it revives you at your spawn point. But it also temporarily super buffs you for a minute. Also, I'm on the fence on whether or not I want to keep Totem of Undyings in the mod, or if I want to, like, disable them somehow. Kind of like how I disabled the Elytra. So if I do, this will be the only extra life item. And it's debatably more balanced, because you go to your spawn point, but you keep your items. Right here, keep inventory as false. Now let me damage myself down. You can see when I die, I got teleported back to my spawn point, which is on the adequate bedding. But I've been super buffed. I have 40 vision, so I can see hobos through walls. I also have strength 3, so, you know, I'll do a lot of damage to them. And I also have acrobatic 3, so I have extremely high step height. These hills are no match for me. Even the tree. Pretty awesome. I didn't have one in my hand that time. Now there's one more staff added in this update. I'll probably add more in the future, suggest ideas in the comments. But this is the last one I've added for now. With a face block, an evil stone, and a gold ingot and craft, you get the siphon staff. This is a lifesteal item. Now it starts out at full charge, but watch what happens when I right click with it. I'm at full health. You can see the durability is at 1. Now the way this works is durability is actually known as charge. And when you craft the staff, it's at full charge. But now it's at 1, and I can't use it again when it's at 1. So how do I get more charge? Hit enemies with it. You'll know you're doing it right when it creates these red particles. Now you can see I have 10 durability. And watch what happens when I right click with the siphon staff now. I got health back. For every single charge in the siphon staff, you get half a heart. Yeah, use this thing to heal from attacking your enemies. Makes healing easy. Good for fights, I imagine. And it's honestly really cheap to craft. Like 1 evil stone, like gold, you'll have that by this point in the game anyway. I forgot to mention, but there's actually one last staff. So there's 5 total, not 4 like I thought for some reason. The real last staff is made with immaculate conch, a block of moissanite, and a block of tungsten. Hit craft and you get the magic staff. Now it's not immediately obvious what this one does, unlike all the other ones. But it's actually pretty simple. Just hold down right click and let go, and you summon lightning. Also, it seems I forgot to give this one durability. I'm gonna add some durability. Also, if you hold it back for too long, it resets charge. That's intentional. We'll say it's intentional. Because it kind of makes it like a game. You better make sure you let go at the right time, or else it's just not going anywhere. Or really close to you. Watch me get it in the fortress. Booyah. Now let's talk about the 2 new armor sets that are available from the fortress. You need unknown metal and thick skin to make these. First, let's talk about the thick armor made with thick skin. Allow me to just make a full set real quick. And now you can see the set bonus. Heals you when you're sneaking with empty hand. And now I'm wearing the thick skin. Looks just great on me, doesn't it? And now notice how I'm at low health. Well, if I want to regenerate, I just gotta sneak with an empty hand. And now I have regeneration. Regeneration 3, that is, but I have to be sneaking for it to function, or else I don't get it. Worth noting, though, that it costs durability to heal. I made it so it accidentally costs, like, way too much, but yeah, I'm gonna change it so it's better. Next on the list is Pyro Armor. You make it with unknown metal. It's made exactly like technology armor, but you use unknown metal instead of unfamiliar metal. And its set bonus is it grants fire immunity, and you can spawn a fire aura. Watch me sneak. I know I'm taking damage, but I need to change this one too and make it so it gives you fire resistance. But yeah, notice how I'm not igniting. But yeah, that's it for the actual fortress part of the update. But I also want to mention I added a bunch of stuff from my game Flail Chalk, which you can play with the link in the description. So I guess none of these references is going to make sense unless you've played Flail Chalk, but I'll do my best to explain it. Because we have some Flail Chalk themed items. Like the Flail Chalk itself. I have to go with Intelligent Kunk, Block a Lapis, String, and my Spawn Egg. Which you can make that with an Iron Wheat. But what is Flail Chalk? When you right click, you can use it as a flail. Kind of similar to the Testakill. But it has more range, does more damage, and less knockback. Less knockback making it easier to use. Also, I want to mention, I made it so brown spiders shoot projectiles at you. Instead of doing what they normally did, which is just poison you, which, let's face it, it was a ripoff of the fucking cave spider. So hopefully making it shoot projectiles instead makes it a little more unique. But yeah, as you saw there, you use the Flail Chalk as a weapon. It's pretty much just a direct upgrade to the Testakill. That's the intention here. Now, I also added all the blocks from Flail Chalk. This is how you craft each of those. Gunpowder, evil wheat, money, blaze powder. And now the green one, when broken, doesn't do anything. Although it is a pure green block if you want to use it for like a green screen in game. But then there's also the red block, which when broken, it explodes. And now there's the purple block, which when broken, destroys all green blocks in a 10 by 10 radius. There might be some minigame capabilities, I'm sure. I don't know. I'll let the people come up with that. And then there's the yellow block, which when broken, just gives you some XP. And last but not least, there's the blue block, which when broken, it gives you strength 2 for a minute. One last thing I want to mention in this update is I slightly changed the texture of Scorched Earth, and I added Scorched Earth bricks. Stairs, slabs, walls, you know, stuff like that. And also Scorched Earth walls, which weren't in the game before for some reason. But yeah, that's it for this update. Download in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, join my Discord, follow my Twitter, play Industrial Basis, play Flail Chalk, subscribe to my second channel, visit my website, and goodbye.